On this fourth day, this man having come to a place where he is now coming to a consciousness of sin potentials that exist, either the ones that are heightened of his natural potential and of and discovered potentials or new potentials, new abilities that are rising that have come because of the relationship with God. But on this fourth day, God creates the lights. The Bible says he made two great lights, one to rule the day and one to rule the night. Number one, it tells you that dominion is by light because he created the light, is by the light to rule the day. What this essentially means is that, and I want us to split it into two. The night in this context, will be those seasons where God is not so, it's not near, doesn't feel near. You are not perceiving times of testing, times of trial, times of hardship, times of difficulties, times of delayed answers to prayers, and in some cases no answer at all. Then let us the day to mean a visible manifestation of God's favor, a visible manifestation of God's mercy, a visible manifestation of God's covenant promises. And we're saying in both of these days, you operate it by light. There's a light that comes to you, and when it comes to the season of the day, you flow in the fullness of the revelation God has given. And there's a light that comes to you in the darkness, although all that God has spoken to you has not yet manifested, and there are difficulties and tests and trials and various challenges that arise, you are still able to exercise dominion. Exercising of rulership there, therefore, means that the darkness does not overwhelm you. The darkness does not consume you. The darkness does not bend you to its will. But in the midst of that challenge, you are able to stay true to God. And we say that the ability to do that still comes by light. In the lives of, the Bible says he made the stars also. The stars there are pointers, both things in the natural and time span, and what you call supernatural experiences, both in your life and lives of others, especially in the life of others, that points to the reality of God and his faithfulness, especially in the season of darkness. For example, if a man is battling with cancer and he's crying out to God and say, Father, I know your word says by stripes I'm healed, and I'm trusting for my help, and I thank you that I'm healed. When you hear the testimony of men who have been healed by cancer in worst stages and all that, it becomes a star. Something that in the midst of that darkness gives him hope that God's able to meet you in this point of need. One of the lesson lights there are those things that the man comes, wherein the man, in the midst of the challenges that he has, he comes into the knowledge of what God is able to do for him. Although it does not give him the overwhelming victory or the fullness of all that God has planned for him, it is enough for him to know that God is with me and God is faithful.